How you doing? And thanks for tuning in to the What the Hell podcast. This podcast is dedicated to those things that drive you nuts and annoy you and just make you say, what the hell? Come on in. Let's get this thing started. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Oh man, what the hell? Holy shit, it's another episode of What the Hell. How's it going, my What the Hellions? It's been quite a minute, but that's okay because we're all here now. Joining me, as most of the time, maybe not always, but most of the time, joining me from the great, wonderful, faraway land of Michigan, please welcome my brother TJ. Say hi to the people.
I hate everybody because it snowed today.
Yeah. Dude, that was the other. See, we were talking about this before I started recording, but was on a cruise vacation, and here in Texas, it snowed in Austin while we were gone.
Yeah, and everybody shit their pants.
And everyone shit their pants and came back, and I heard about all this snow, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I was on a beach in the Bahamas. They're like, fuck you.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's like, sorry. It was pretty great. It was 80 degrees. It was wonderful.
Yeah, now you people see why there's been a delay in episodes.
Yep. Had to go on vacation. Way overdue. So I'm telling you, one of these days I'm dragging your ass down here and you're getting on a boat with us. Sorry, I had a sip there. Yes, one of these days you'll be getting on a boat with us.
One of these days.
One of these days. Who sang that shit? Someone sang something like that.
The only thing I can think of is the Foo Fighters sang, what the fuck was the song called? Because I can hear it now. One of these days.
Oh, yeah.
Your heart will stop.
Oh, which one is that?
And play it.
Final beat. Yeah.
Yeah. Easy for you to say. Your heart is never broken. Not yet. Not yet. Easy for you to say.
I think it is called one of it's These Days.
These Days. That's what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah. Speaking of Foo Fighters, now we're gonna start our tangent already. Speaking of Foo Fighters, are you going to see this fucking movie?
Oh yeah, dude, you know I am.
It looks fucking great. It looks great, and I read an interview on Blabbermouth with Dave, and they wrote a whole metal record for the band that they're playing in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be so good.
Dave Grohl's a god. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Did you get his book, Storyteller?
Not yet.
I'm most of the way through it. It's been pretty great.
Our sister Michaela got me a book for Christmas that I plowed through pretty much in about a week, but I haven't had a chance to get over to a bookstore because it's been snow on the ground.
There are snow in the ground. Speaking of books, now I don't know if you ever read any of these. So remember the very mediocre Tom Cruise movie, Jack Reacher? You may not have watched it.
I was about to say, I know it's a thing. I never seen it.
So that movie is based on a book. Author's name is Lee Child. I had read the book beforehand because the whole premise of the book is, retired Army guy, loner, blah, 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 blah. And they're very well written. He's got a bunch of these things out there. The problem with the movie, and the reason you probably remember it, is because there's controversy around it because the guy wrote this character, Jack Reacher, as like a huge, beefy, football size brawler guy, right? Not Tom fucking Cruise.
Right? Yeah, because the first thought that just came to my mind was, and then they cast Tom Cruise.
Right. And Tom Cruise did what he did, whatever. Well, Amazon made a series out of a different book and they're calling it Reacher. But the guy they cast is I don't know if you're familiar with Alan Richardson.
I feel like I've heard that name before, but I can't put a face to it.
The only thing I know him from 100%, you probably didn't watch, was that series Titans that they did.
Yeah, I definitely didn't watch that.
But so he fits, just from a physical standpoint, he fits the mold. Put it that way. Big dude, burly dude. Like, I wouldn't pick a fucking fight with him, right?
So like kind of like Tom Hardy Bane-esque.
Bigger,
Dude, Jesus.
bigger. Dude's
Like
dude's
like
dude's big.
like Brock Lesnar.
Maybe a little bit smaller than that. If
Okay.
you're on your computer,
Okay.
right?
Oh,
Hit the Google Alan Richardson Reacher, and you'll see it. The thing, I mean, he was one of the guys that wore the mocap suit for that fucking Turtles movie with
oh yeah, that's a
Megan
big
Fox.
son bitch.
Yeah, right. He's a big dude. If you have Prime, it's 8 episodes. Watch it. I think you'll fucking like it. He does. They've already announced the season 2. He nails it. It was great. Just a fucking crazy, especially the first episode. Crazy fucking fight, and they nailed it, dude. It was great. So all the what the hellions out there, if you need something to watch Reacher. It's fucking good. It's fucking good. I promise. And a couple of things that happens in some of those fights will make you say, "Oh, what the hell?" Just saying.
Speaking of what the hell,
and that's how we tie it all together.
Well, just before we get into car buying, because we're going to do that.
Yes, we are.
What the hell? There's going to be a new Beavis and Butthead movie.
Oh, yes.
And episodes.
But did you see the renderings?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. Well, hit the Google, because Mike Judge actually shared what Beavis and Butthead are going to look like.
So hold on. Is this gonna depress me, or is this gonna make me happy?
I don't know.
Because
it's not a rehash of the series. It's Beavis and Butthead today.
Oh, so they're old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and Google it. New Beavis and Butthead, because Mike Judge drew. I don't know if it's concept art or if that's really what they're going to look like, but you're going to like Butthead made me laugh out loud.
Okay, let's see.
Again, what the hellions, if you've never watched Beavis and Butthead, if you're that young, thanks for listening, number one. Number two, go back and watch it. It's ridiculous. You can comment on the YouTube page about Cornholio.
Well, that, and I mean, just remember it came out in 1993.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Yeah, see, that's just about what I thought they would look like.
I mean, but it looks great. It's so funny.
The only thing I'm afraid of is like, because they tried to do this before, and I'm just like, I don't think it's going to capture the same magic.
You know what? Here's what I think about that, because if recent movie and TV shows have showed us anything, is that nostalgia sells hard, right? Like Cobra Kai.
Nostalgia does sell, but you have to do it right.
Yeah.
Like look at female Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like that was a shit show.
What, look at Ghostbusters, what was it now? Afterlife? That was a good fucking movie.
But it just has to be done right.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily know if this can be done right in 2022. Like
that's a great point.
It was brilliant in 1993, but like,
yeah,
I really don't, in my day-to-day life, like the metal dude is not really around anymore.
Right. No, I think you've got a valid concern there. I mean, you know, some of the jokes were definitely not going to fly.
Well, so it's not even the jokes.
But then again, South Park is still on.
Well, I mean, I still remember one of the funniest things I've ever heard was from Beavis and Butthead, and it was at the end of an episode, and like they were at school and they had to take care of a plant, and at the end of the episode it was over, and like I'm pretty sure they failed. I don't remember. So Butthead's sitting there and goes, "Beavis, what'd you do with the plant?" And he goes, "I fertilized it." And I just remember I lost my shit. But do they still have that same magic? That's all I'm asking.
I hope so. I mean, it's the same. Mike Judge is still involved in it, clearly, right? Because he's the one who put that drawing out there. So I don't know. I hope they can pull it off.
He is. He's also 30 years older.
Yeah. I hope they can pull it off. I mean, this is the guy that brought us Office Space and Beavis and Butthead and a bunch of other shit. So
Well,
we'll see.
It's fucking voice of Hank Hill.
Oh, that's also very true. Forgot that. So what the? I sell propane and propane products.
Well, that voice originated on Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was the neighbor, if I remember right.
Yep, it was the neighbor that spun off into its own show.
Bull.
Oh, can't wait. You know there'll be a Cornholio reference. I am Cornholio. I need TV for my bunghole. My people, we have no bungholes.
Dude, I didn't tell you this. I literally have a shirt with Beavis with his fucking shirt over his head and his arms up, and it just says, I am the great Cornholio. And I rock that shit.
And what was it, a song? Like, come to Butthead. I can't do Butthead as good as you. I can do Beavis pretty well, but I can't do Butthead.
No, that was Shaggy's Bombastic.
That's right.
Where Beavis gets up and starts like, and this was like mid 90s, but he's like on the couch twerking.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
That was another moment I'll always remember because it made me laugh so fucking hard.
Come to Butthead.
Anyway, so how about buying cars?
So good. Yeah, that's right. Let's move on. Oh goodness. So what the hell? What the hell? Is there anything? There's maybe a couple things, but I think one of the most annoying things on the planet, to TJ's point, is for the most part, the normal pre-internet age or pre-cars.com or whatever, but the car buying process, what the hell? Like,
well, hold on. For me, like COVID changed the game, obviously, because now you can just buy a car online and they'll fucking show up at your house. But
right.
Before, like, if you woke up on a Saturday and knew, like, the first thing I have to do is probably, take a shower, eat breakfast, and then we have to go to the car dealership because I need to get a car today. Like, that was your day.
Oh, well, but it's still, to a degree, it still is. To a degree, it still is, but we'll get there in a minute, because that's another one of the things that's fucking annoying me about the whole thing. So as recently as a year ago, I have bought a car, right? So let's kind of walk through it from the get-go, right? So step one, fuck, I need a car for whatever reason, right? So then there's the whole, what do I want versus what can I afford, right? Because what you want is never what you can afford. It just fucking, for me, it's rarely worked out that way. Maybe once or twice.
See, I'm different in that aspect. Like, just give me something reliable that goes, and I'm good.
Yeah, like, but to your point, you're different that way. You're fucking weird. Yeah,
no, I absolutely know I'm weird, because there's plenty of car guys out there. There are guys that like can tell me everything about a car. And I'm a type of dude that like opens up a hood and is like, yep, that's the engine. Okay.
The key goes here.
Yeah.
So okay, you've resigned yourself to knowing that you need to get a car, right? And we're so spoiled in the 2000s, I guess, 2010s, I don't know, whatever. We're so spoiled that we have the internet and there's prices online, and you can do everything online, especially these days. But what about those days when your credit score was this great fucking mystery that only the bank knew, right? And you had to get, remember the teletype? Remember that motherfucker? Right. And so you would go to a dealership And well, let's, because we're not even really at the pull the credit part yet, but you walk in not knowing, you know you need a car, you know you want a car, but you go somewhere not knowing A, what they had on the lot because it was pre-internet days, and B, if you were going to be even fucking successful. Right? To me, it was like a crapshoot. You might as well have gone on Price is Right and spun the big fucking wheel.
Well, I mean, obviously, this was like pre like be able to see your credit report
Yeah.
days. So, like, and I don't know if I'm jumping where you want to go, but I'm going to go to the pulling credit part. Is like, for me in my car buying experience at a dealership, like, if you don't know your credit score and you go in and you're like, I need a car, and then they either A, come back and deny you, or B, come back and be like, yeah, but your payment's going to be like $700 a month.
Yeah.
Because we want you to pay this off as fast as possible because we don't think you're going to keep up on it. It's a giant kick in the nuts.
Oh, yeah. No doubt, right? Like, you just fucking, most of the time in my lifetime that I've bought cars, it's always been, I've always felt like a second class citizen because most of the time credit wouldn't be great, but everyone knows you need a car, and everyone's doing the bad credit financing, and there's the buy here, pay here places. Don't get me started on that shit. But you would walk in and not know if you'd be successful, and then before they even pull credit, you get your hopes up, like, okay, I like this car, maybe it's okay, and then they go back, they disappear, and I think that's the most fucking frustrating part, right? Is even before you pull out the credit app and all that, you're like, yeah, this car, and here, test drive it, and you're going, but I don't want to touch the puppy.
Well, yeah, because like they're like, I assume they assume like I'm going to sell this motherfucker this car, and so they're going to try and do everything they can to talk you into that car.
Oh yeah.
Until we get to this point in the process where they're like, never mind.
I tell you what, I went to one dealership one time and needed to get a car and wanted something economical on gas because I was driving around a lot for work. But I didn't, I was like, I had a budget, I knew what I wanted. And again, it was one of those, it's like, yeah, we'll probably finance anybody. And I'm like, this is what I want my payment to be. And I got probably the most fucking pushy hard sell ever, that these motherfuckers are trying to put my fat ass, and my ass is fat, unfortunately. They're trying to put my fat ass in a Mini Cooper. Number one, the fucking payment was going to be like, oh, I don't know, a couple of $100 more than I wanted to pay. Oh yeah, but then you can refinance it. It's a great car and it's worth a lot. And I'm like, and it's a Mini Cooper, and I'm a 300-pound dude.
Well, I mean, and I felt the same way because you were there with me throughout the whole fucking process when I bought that fucking Neon.
Oh yeah.
And it was an all day process. I remember not getting home till like 6 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
And I don't remember exactly what my payment was. I think it was like $400 a month.
Probably.
And this was a used Dodge Neon. And
base model.
Yeah.
No frills.
No. But I just remember driving out of there like it was kind of like a 50-50 deal where I was like, well, I don't have to worry about having a car and getting to work. But at the same time, like, I don't know if I can afford this because now they want me to put full insurance on this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but, and that's the right. That's the worst part, is you can't find that shit out till way down the road. But like,
and even worse was like, I was like 22, 23 at the time. So
yep.
for full insurance
was not cheap. Wait, how much is my insurance? Oh, well, let me just cut my nuts off now.
Yeah, pretty much.
right? So to me, we're spoiled now because we can have some idea of, and I guess it's been more recent in the last few years where you can walk into a dealer already knowing if you're approved, what your payment would be, and all you got to do is fill out the paperwork real quick. But the most, and the thing that frustrated me the most, and it actually happened on this last car that I bought a year ago. It's the third brand new car I've ever bought in my life, right? I had, at the time, I had a 2019 Altima that I had bought used, not that long before, certified used, right? Like, cool, this car's gonna last forever. I like Altimas, they've been great. And I don't remember how long I had it, maybe 6 months or something like that, if that. And got the call from dealership like, hey, we'd like to buy your car back and put it back into the the certified program, and we think we can get you a brand new one, and probably not change your payment. Okay, I'll listen to you, right?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, you had to at least listen.
Yeah, right. And it was the end of March last year, so end of a quarter, end of a month, so they're motivated to make sales, right? That's when everyone's trying to fucking push everything. Plus, that's also tax season, right? And they got to pay taxes on the cars that are left on the lot. So I'm listening, and I already knew, right, because I'd done the internet homework and all that. I knew I would get approved. I knew what the payment was going to be, and all that shit. But for some reason, it still fucking took all day. So one of the most frustrating parts of the whole thing, and we'll get into that part of it in a second, but like this whole, okay, test drive the car and come sit down and talk about it, and what are you looking for your payment to be, and then to disappear for 40 minutes to, quote, go talk to the manager, end quote.
Yeah, because like they're just back there fucking bullshitting.
Exactly.
Like there's no way in 2022 this process has not been streamlined. It's either that or you're running a shitty dealership, because like it should not take me from 10 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night to buy a fucking car. Like,
No,
I know
not
it's
in
a
the digital
process.
age.
I know it's a process, but like if we can knock this out in like 1 to 2 hours, beautiful.
And this going back and forth to the manager bullshit, right? I'm sorry. I get that's the way it's always been done, and I know what they're trying to do, because I've had a couple of buddies that are in the game, right? One was a salesman, and if you remember Rob from high school, my best friend, he was in the car game for a long time, and he taught me a few things. Number one, let's see if you and I probably talked about it before, but so this whole thing where they're going back and forth to the fucking manager, to your point, they're bullshitting, right? They can run the numbers in about a minute and let you know right there. They'll know what kind of profit they're going to make. They're going to know if it's going to get approved. The only thing that is in the question mark is if they've run the credit yet, right? So
Yeah.
So they come back and it's like, oh, well, if we can get you this price, right, this payment, will you buy? And that also, by the way, is another scam, because if they're trying to get you to agree to a payment, then they know how much dealer reserve they can add to your loan. Now,
Yeah.
are you
Hold
familiar?
on. No, hold on. But allow me to poke a hole in the whole going back to talk to the manager thing. Again, it's 2022.
Yep.
You're sitting at a computer.
Instant message.
Well, I was about to say, like, Slack is a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's an app a lot of companies use, and it's like a group message.
Yep. Well, half of them are still using, MSN, Instant Messenger, or whatever the fuck. And again, it's a game, right? It's a complete and total game. They're trying to get you to agree to a payment, right? Because they've always asked what's your credit look like before they pull it, right? And these days you walk in and give them, well, depending on where you fucking go, because there's 7,000 scores out there, it looks like this or this. So they already know right there, boom. And what they're doing, you and I probably talked about it before, but are you familiar with dealer reserve?
A little bit.
Okay. The short version for my what the hellions out there and I think I've talked about this on the podcast on the credit episode, and that was ages ago. But dealer reserve, you can Google this. It's a fact. It was taught to me by somebody in the industry. Dealer reserve refers to the markup that the dealer puts on the loan offer they get from the bank, which means when they show you your payment and your APR, it's probably been marked up from the bank by the dealer, meaning the bank said, hey, TJ, we're going to approve you at 3.9%, right? But then what the dealer can do, and for some fucking reason, this is legal.
Yeah, now it's 10.9.
The dealer can go, oh, well, he's approved this, so now you're going to be at 7.9. And all the money they get from that goes back to the dealer on what they call the back end of the deal. The front end is obviously how much they paid for the car and how much they're charging. What's the profit there? They make more money on the back end because they mark up your interest rate. They actually mark up your fucking interest rate, which is why most places will tell you go to your personal bank and get approved there first, because obviously there's no fucking markup there. If you go through the dealership at the bank, then you're going to get several offers, and some places will if you ask to have them show you the bank offers, some will do it, some won't, but it's not required. Dealer reserve is a thing, and it's how a lot of people, especially if you are less than perfect credit, get fucked.
Oh, 100%. And this is why I've mainly leaned towards buying used cars, like off of Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, because, like, yes, I know it's a risk. Like,
big time, yeah.
I mean, look at what just happened to me the other week. You know, my brakes went bad. They had to cut the calipers off because whoever worked on the car before me used the wrong screw, and just, it was a shit show. Ended up costing me $750.
Yep.
But at the same time, I kind of go, okay, but at least I own this motherfucker and I don't have a car payment.
Right.
And, you know, anything that comes up along the way, I'll deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. So you avoid that whole getting, I mean, you're just, what you've done there is basically decided where you want to get fucked, right? Do you want to get fucked at the dealership, or maybe, you know, get fucked by doing that? And don't get me wrong, I know there's plenty of people out there doing Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace that are completely honest, and they're selling good cars and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I've bought plenty of shit off of Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace in my time, and I haven't been screwed over yet, for the record, right? Now, it's not been a car. I did buy a motorcycle off of fucking Craigslist. I will say that blue Katana I had, I bought off of Craigslist, and the guy was 100% straight up. Loved that bike. Rode it till I couldn't ride it anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, my first car was off Craigslist, like the '93 Buick Century.
Yep.
I loved that car. I was so bummed out when that thing fucking died. I loved that car.
So you're deciding where you want to get fucked at that point, potentially.
I know. See, but for me, in my personal experience, I haven't had a lot of experience in dealerships, just because life works that way. But every time I've walked out of a dealership and bought a car, I feel like I've been fucked. And not just fucked, but fucked hard.
You're exhausted. Somehow you're mentally and physically exhausted. Because, and again, it's the digital age, right? So you got the back and forth between the, you know, I'm gonna go talk to the manager, and they disappear and come back, and disappear and come back. And if you're someone that's a stickler about stuff, right, and they come back and, oh, well, we can get you close to that payment, hoping you're going to say yes to it. And, you know, if you're going to hold your guns and say, no, I fucking said this, can you do it or not? Well, let me go check. You're like, fuck. So there's that back and forth. And again, that's on the payment. Don't even get me started if you're, and I guess it's probably better now on pricing, right? Because just about everybody is, the price you see is the price you pay, right? There's not a hell of a lot of haggling on price anymore.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
you know. So it's about the payment. But then even so, okay, so let's say you're at the point now you've probably dealt with the back and forth between the salesman and the manager for an hour, and you've got something agreed to. So now you've got to fill out the fucking credit app, right? So they can run your fucking credit. First and foremost, the fact that they make you still do this on a piece of fucking paper and then take that piece of paper and type it into a website is bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit. Like,
Just give me the keyboard.
Yeah,
just give me the keyboard.
Turn the fucking screen around.
Yeah.
Give me the keyboard.
Like,
and I know there's
no.
a couple of places that do that. I know
No,
CarMax does that.
Like literally, my insurance agent. There's a monitor for her and a monitor for me. It's the same as my tax agent.
Yeah,
monitor for her, monitor for me.
Yep. So, but then right, so you do that. They type it in, however that fucking goes, and like, okay, now we're waiting on approval. Okay. It's not like you're calling these fucking banks and faxing over information anymore. This shit, the approvals are typically not, let's be real, they're not done manually anymore. It's
they're not
fucking painless.
Like, you can go online and apply for a credit card and know instantly if you have been approved or not. Like, but it's all bullshit.
But for some reason, the whole, even when I've gone in or my wife has gone in and we've used Capital One Auto Navigator, which I wholeheartedly recommend. I will give Capital One my business for a very fucking long time. I've got good credit cards through them and I've bought cars through them. And I love Auto Navigator, right? Because here's the thing, you can run a search for any fucking car you want, any fucking where, and it'll tell you real time. Here's your APR, here's your payment. And you can change it based on if you can get the price different, if you want to go longer or shorter on the loan, and it updates it in real time. So you walk in knowing right then and there already, like, just give me the paperwork. I already know what this is going to be.
What's in your wallet? Hashtag right. Not a sponsor.
Hashtag sponsor us, please. Fucking so, but here's the thing. Even when you with Capital One, you get that and you print out a letter, right, with a number that's got the pre-approval, and you fill out the information at the car dealership and you hand them that letter. But for some reason, even in this digital age, why does it still take over an hour almost every fucking time to go from getting the loan approved to signing everything? It takes fucking forever. And I can't see a reason for the life of me. And that's the frustrating part. I'm thinking about it when my wife bought her car and when I bought this last car, right? Just a year ago, I'm going, why is this fucking taking so long? Well, no, I mean, I get there's other people there, but you've got more than one finance person. And this is, it's all done via computer. They pull up a thing and they click a couple of buttons and print out something and tell you where to sign. They click another button, they print out something and tell you where to sign. And they click another button and guess what they do? They tell you where to fucking sign. Right? It shouldn't take as long as it fucking does.
No, absolutely not at all.
And that's the part where you wind up being fucking physically and mentally exhausted because you spend half the time waiting for what appears to be no fucking reason.
Well, because I think it is.
What is it? Tell me, please.
I think they're trying to wear you down. I think, like you were talking about, going back and forth between the quote unquote manager, which is really probably them just like going in the back, shooting the shit and drinking coffee or whatever. But going back and forth between the manager, like by the end of it, because I remember this vividly, like by the end of that car buying process for the Neon, I was so ready. I was just like, I will sign whatever I want to sign. Give me the car and let me go.
Now, I think you're onto something with that, right? Because that then comes the next step, right? You've been waiting. At that point, you're fucking ready to go. And you walk into the finance manager's office, and then what do you get? You get a sales pitch for a bunch of other shit.
And yeah, no, I don't need that shit. Like,
right.
I'm done at this point.
like, hey, you're buying this used car, you should really get this extended warranty, and it only add $100 a month to your payment. And what about tire protection? And what about this? And what about that? And then and you just want to get the fucking slap out and be like, no, give me my keys, dickhead.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's the other part. Like, I don't know about you, but for me, it's like, okay, Mr. McPhee, come on back. Oh, thank God I can fucking scribble my name 15 times and get the fuck out of here, right? That's what's going through my head. Thank you, Jesus, right? Like, hallelujah, hallelujah. Let's get this over with, right? And then you sit down, like, oh, okay, great, nice to meet you. Let's talk about rock chips. Fuck.
No, we're not talking about that. That's
Hey,
not what I'm here for.
DJ, have you ever been driving down the road and you hear that and see something scrape off your windshield? Did that ever happen to you? Well, for only $99.95.
So I'm here for this Equinox. I just want to buy it.
Okay, well, the Equinox has got 50,000 miles on it. You might want to think about a warranty. Now, we've got several plans for you to choose from, and I'm going to go through each one of them in great fucking detail.
I'm not interested. Shut up. Save your breath. Save your breath. I'm not interested.
No, I have to go through this. We're going to talk about every
nut and bolt
on this car.
You don't. You really don't. I'm not going to buy your warranty. So even if it's a requirement, so go in the back and talk to your manager about it, because I'm not going to fucking listen to it.
Oh, no.
Fuck your warranty.
Here's the fucking worst part, right? When you tell them no, what's the first thing they do? They discount the price of the warranty. Like, oh no, I can knock this much off that coverage. So you're not trying to give me the best price in the first place. Fuck you.
Yeah, 100%. Not to mention, it's going to be like, oh, well, you ran over a nail on the highway, so that's not covered. So
that's the next part. After we talk about the warranty, then we're going to talk about your tire protection, tire and rim. So have you ever driven your car and parked it, along the side of the road and scraped your tire and your wheel up against the curb? We can help you with that.
1 billion times.
We can help you with that. Oh, what about, do you need ceramic coating? Do you need your windows tinted? And again, you're going, just get me the fuck out of here. So it takes what should be scribble your name 10 or 15 times into just drop of blood, sperm sample, stool sample,
your right arm, your firstborn child.
All of these things. That's what it feels like by the time you're done. When you thought you were at the end of this fucking procedure. No, you're not. You're about to get more and more and more. Like, oh, okay, well, what about, are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I picked this car as is. Just give me the fucking car.
Okay, but let's look at reality here. That you're gonna pay on this car for the next 4 years. It's already got 60,000 miles on it. You should really think about this.
The reality is I'm going to take it to a place where I know they're going to fix it versus taking it to you and then having this turn into a 3-month process.
Geez, that doesn't sound familiar at all.
Am I wrong? Am I fucking wrong?
Okay, so disclaimer for the what the hellions out there. What TJ is referring to is the only time I have ever bought the extended warranty on a car. And for those of you out there that will relate to this story, you're gonna love it. And for those that haven't had this happen to them, fucking pay attention.
Well, no, for both of them, both. Yeah. At the end, like, you're gonna want to choke a bitch and go.
So fucking, at the time I was driving, and this is back when gas was creeping up to what it is fucking now. Gas was over $4 a gallon, and my children were little, and I was driving a Suburban, right? Great gas mileage on that motherfucker. Not.
Well, no, this is like, I don't even remember what year it was. I want to say like
90, 96, 90. No, I'm lying.
No.
This is 2006, 2007.
What year did I move out there? Yeah, about then.
Yeah, this is for sure '07.
Oh, 07, 06,
Yep.
07, 08, that
Yep.
range.
So
So
get
this is like an old school, like suburban, like
it's a
yeah,
it's a
sucker.
98 Suburban, 99 Suburban. Great vehicle when you got three little kids and you know you're going back and forth between divorced parents and you want the kids to have friends over and all that kind of shit. And it don't get me wrong, love the vehicle. And I could get into how I got the vehicle. That's a whole other story. Some great people, whatever. Anyway,
No, but I mean,
at,
the point of the story was like this thing sucked gas.
got a 44-gallon tank. Do the math. Gas was over $4, and I was again working as a franchise consultant, driving all over fucking Austin on a daily basis. Was doing over 1,200 miles a month just for work, right? So
with no company car.
So you know, I go and you know I'm going to trade this vehicle in because it was paid for and all that, and I bought my personal albatross at that point because I needed something that had a little bit of room. Again, my kids were little. I didn't want another gas guzzling SUV because there was no end in sight to the over $4 a gallon gas. I needed something with better gas mileage. So I buy a Chrysler PT Cruiser. Now, never liked the design. I never really loved the car, but it was what I needed at the time, and it fulfilled a need. Enough room.
It was a
less,
car. I mean, we've all been there. You just need a car.
Went from an 8-cylinder to a 4-cylinder. It was a car. Now, again, this is I'm going to say it's 2007, might be 2008. Anyway, those of you that are history buffs may realize that right around this time, Chrysler files bankruptcy. So in there, buying the car, I'm feeling pretty happy overall. Like, wow, this is going to go good. And I don't remember how many miles a car had on or anything like that. But it was the only time I've ever bought the extended warranty. And I said, you know what? It's not that much. Okay, I'll do it. Thank God I did. For the record, thank God. Because 2 months after I got the car, I get the check engine light comes on. And it had, I remember this because it was at 60,000 miles. And so I ran it over to AutoZone or whatever, had them read the code, and the code was cylinder 3 misfire. And they give you a list of possible things. And one of the things that's recommended at 60,000 miles is changing your plugs and wires anyways, which was also something that could cause this misfire. So I'm like, changing plugs and wires, that's fucking easy. I can do that. I buy the parts, I change the plugs, I change the wires, have the code cleared, thinking everything's going to be fine. That's what I get for thinking. The check engine light stayed off for a day. Came back on. I'm like, okay, you know what? I bought the extended warranty. We're going to CarMax. So take it in. CarMax takes it in. It's like a $50 deductible. And they gave me a rental car. Well, that went on for 3 months. And when I say it went on for 3 months, the rental car, per the policy on the warranty, you can only get a rental car for 10 days.
Dude had a new car every week.
Every 7 days, I had to go back to CarMax for them to give me a loaner because in the state of Texas, you could only issue a loaner car plate for 7 days. So it was, here's your loaner, come back 7 days later because they couldn't get parts for the car, right? Chrysler had filed bankruptcy and there was a nationwide run on everybody wanted to get Chrysler parts before you couldn't get them anymore. And the one good thing about that warranty was they wouldn't let them use aftermarket or used parts. It had to be new parts. So part of me was annoyed that I had to deal with this every week because it also was not a fast process. But the other part of me was like, thank God, right? Because I want good shit on this. What apparently is a piece of shit car.
Well, I remember because this is before you and Stephanie got engaged. We were living on Wayne Street.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I think it was like every Friday, if I remember right. I was like, what's he going to pull up in today?
And the guy across the street was like, man, you must be rich. You get a new car every week. I'm like, I wish it was that simple. But and again, for the record, only time I've bought the warranty, I'm glad I did. But if you're someone out there that has a Chrysler PT Cruiser or is thinking about getting a PT Cruiser, don't fucking do it. They're pieces of shit. That's just one example of the fucking nightmare I had with that fucking vehicle. They're pieces of shit.
So let me give you guys a little insight, although what the hellions, of how this all ended, right? So eventually Sean got engaged and married, obviously. And I was living with him at the time. Obviously, if you get married, you're like, all right, bro, gotta go. So I got my own place. So what Sean did was go, because I didn't have a car at the time. I was hoofing it. And Sean went, you can take this motherfucker till it dies. Which I thought was cool as fuck. Don't get me wrong.
But it's a piece of shit.
I remember having to have my friends charge my battery and then have to drive it around the steeplechase parking lot just to hold a charge before the repo company came and got it.
Oh God, fucking car's a piece of shit, people. It's a piece. Don't buy a PT Cruiser.
Not a fun car.
Anyway, the only time I ever fell for the extended warranty sale. For the record, those of you who don't know, you can buy extended warranties after you've bought your car. You can go online and search them, and they'll still do it. It's fine. So you think you're at the end of the fucking rope, right? You're like, oh my God, this is almost over. You get in there, and the finance manager is fucking selling all kinds of shit, and you're just like, oh God, just give me the car.
I've been here 8 hours. I've been here 8 hours. I'm not ready to be sold any more shit. Give me my fucking keys.
And here's the other part, right? Part of the reason that it takes so long to get in and get through the finance manager's office is one of the dumbest fucking reasons on the planet, is because they try to time it to the same time that your car is done being detailed. So if there's 4 motherfuckers in front of you, that's a 4-hour wait. Just so you know. You come out, you're like, ooh, look, my car, it's so sparkly. They must have washed it. No, they went through a whole fucking detailing process on this fucking thing. And you had to wait because the car wouldn't have been ready, or would have been ready before you were ready. And then it wouldn't have looked as good. Think about it. The only time that doesn't happen is if you're the last motherfucker there at closing time. Like, come back, we'll wash it for you.
Oh, like, and that's the thing about me, right? As long as it's not like dirty as all fuck, I'm not gonna bitch.
Rinse it off. Give me some air fresheners.
Yeah, like as long as it doesn't smell bad when I get in, like, just don't worry about it. Like, I don't need it detailed. I don't need it sparkling clean. Like, if I want to do that, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand, especially in today's day and age, that where it has to take as long as it does. I'm still not, like, they got all these companies now like Carvana and Vroom and all that, and buy it 100% online, and then if you don't like it, you get a week or fucking whatever to take it back or return it or whatever. I'm like, wait a minute, that seemed that I don't know if sketchy is the right word, but I don't think I'm comfortable doing, like, before I fucking sign on the dotted line to pay
like
that much money. I want physical contact. I want to drive it, especially if it's used, which all those companies are selling used.
Yeah, like, I'm with you. I want to lay eyes. Like, I got to get eyes on that motherfucker.
Yeah. I want to see it. I want to smell it. I want to touch it. I want to pop the hood and look for oil leaks and this, that, and the other. I don't know that I can do that. And so, yes, that probably eliminates a lot of the shit that we bitched about, right? The whole waiting process. But I don't know if that avenue is worth it at that point. And maybe it is.
Well, I mean, even dealerships now, like, if you're buying a new car and they're telling you it's new, and like, because I know they don't even drive it to your house, they tow it to your house.
Yeah, they flatbed it.
Yeah. So, like, if you're buying a new car and then you get in that car and you turn it on and the miles are at like 3.
Yeah.
Like,
that I could get. That I could be on board with.
Yeah. But I mean, to buy a used car without even sitting in it or test driving it or even looking at it is insane to me.
Yeah, highly risky, in my opinion. Don't do it, what the hellions. I don't think you should.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, not that they're trying to be, but it's really sketchy to me.
Well, you got to look at most of these people, get their used cars at an auction. They don't know shit about the car either. They'll buy it in an auction. They'll come and they'll have their people do, their 128 point inspection, which, they looked at the window for cracks. That's one point. They opened the door and it worked. That's another point. This 128 points isn't as thorough as you fucking think it is, people, for the record.
Oh, absolutely not.
So they don't know shit about the car. They may have test drove it a little bit, but again, how much do you really find out about your car? I don't care if it's used or new on a test drive. Like I bought a brand new car last year and I found all kinds of shit after I did test drive. Like, oh, cool. That's fucking cool. I didn't know it did that. That's fucking cool too. I didn't even realize I had blind spot monitoring on my mirrors until I drove it. Like after I bought it, I'm like, oh, fuck, that's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of baller.
Like, because you can't see it where it comes. It doesn't. My car doesn't do it in the mirror like a lot of cars do. It actually does it on that little triangle piece of plastic in the corner of the window on the inside, but the whole thing's black. So until it lights up yellow, you don't realize there's a little spot on there that has a light in it. I'm like, that's badass. But you don't realize all that stuff on the test drive, and there's no way as hell. I don't give a fuck how good of a mechanic you are, unless something's really fucked up, which you can notice it right away. You don't catch some of the little shit on a fucking 4-minute test drive around the block.
Well, I mean, yeah, when I test drive a car, that's all I'm really trying to feel for is more like mechanical or bullshit than anything.
Yeah,
like
giant shaky stuff, weird noises.
Like I'm not worried about the radio and all that because I know I can, like, if I'm not happy with that, depending on the price, obviously, I can do all that down the line. But it's just like, like you said, like shaking or like you feel the engine knocking, you think the muffler is fucking busted or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, all that shit that winds up being glaringly obvious that something's going on with it. And you're like, yeah, I probably shouldn't buy this motherfucker. I don't know. I couldn't, a new car, I could do it. Right. That I wouldn't have any issues there, but a more than slightly used, like if it's one, maybe 2 model years old with lower mileage, I would probably be okay with that. But anything other than that, you start getting into it's getting really close to the fucking the manufacturer's warranty going out. No, I need to lay hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I need to see it.
Because that's when shit starts going wrong. Is as soon as the fucking warranty's over, it's like the next day you're like, bink, like what the fuck was that? Matter of fact, I was driving back today and had a meeting. I was going down this road, and every time I hit a bump, I would hear some kind of crazy scrape underneath my car, and I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh no.
A stick had wedged itself in the wrong place. Only when I hit these bumps, it would rub up against something. And I thought my like the skid plate that they put underneath them now had fallen off and was scraping along the thing. So I was like, well, thank God for that, because I was about to lose my shit.
Oh, 100%. Like anytime you hear strange noise come from your car, you're like, oh fuck. Oh fuck. Yeah.
But this has got 15,000 miles on it. It better not be fucking up already.
No, it doesn't even matter how many miles you have on it.
True.
Like you just want your car to keep going. Like I can tell you, I bought my current car, which is ironic, and I don't know if we told this story in a past podcast. I think we might have, but I bought an 03 Blazer, and I don't know if it's the exact model year, but Sean used to own a Blazer, and it's the same color. So it's almost like we're driving the same car.
It's a badass Blazer.
But
except for one thing.
I was about to say, the thing I remember most about that car is, anybody familiar with Texas, we lived in Round Rock, just north of Austin, and we were going up to Temple because they had a badass store up there. Stephen Barry's. It's gone now. I hate all of you for doing that.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
But anyways, we're coming back, and this car continues to overheat.
Oh yeah, overheats. We pull over on the side of the road. We actually went to this house that was over there, and they gave us water and all that. And yeah.
See, I wasn't even including me in there, because I remember I sat in the car.
Oh yeah.
You walked up and was like, "Hey, can I get some water? Like, I'm trying to get down the road." And we had to do that all the way home.
Yep. Oh, and at the end of the day, we should have waited longer because I wound up cracking the block on it. And bye Blazer. But I like that little Blazer. I really did. It's a cool little car. But yes, it's sad that we had to go through all that. Just like it's sad if you go through the car buying process. So,
like, cars are just a pain in the ass in general.
Yeah, they absolutely can be, you know, but they're that evil necessity. You have to do it.
Oh yeah, it's just like insurance.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of, you know, your major metropolitan areas that, you know, that like New York, you don't need a car, right? Because the fucking public transit with the subway and the buses and all that's supposedly pretty badass. Don't know, never been there, but that's what you hear, and because it's so fucking populated, right? But you know, other places that don't have that, you gotta have a fucking car. Like, it just, you have to. You just do. There's no way around it.
Yeah, it's like I almost wish we had that here, but like today, right? It snowed like fuck, especially towards the end of my work day. So I got on Google Maps and I looked at the time it was going to take me to get home, just out of curiosity, accidents, all that shit. 37 minutes. Bus, 2 hours, 45.
Ooh. Yeah. Question. Because I'm not familiar with this. Exactly what does snows like fuck mean?
Like,
I know it means like a fucking lot, but you know, it's just the phrasing part of it. I thought it was
so. I don't have inches. I mean, I do, but I don't have snow inches. I'm glad I got you with that one. I'm pretty proud of it.
You missed opportunities. I don't have inches. I have feet. Would have been better, but hey.
I'm not gonna lie to the people. But so
like 12 what the hellions are like, I'm out. Bye.
Yeah, pretty much. Click off. Sorry. I love you guys. So what had happened, right? And
what happened was
what happened was my checking and my savings. No. So like, anybody tells me that global warming isn't a thing, I'm gonna kind of call a liar, just because like it's the middle of February, right? And we have been in the 20s. So 2 days we got like 50s, and then like the high next day was like 47. So everything melted, right?
Right.
And then it stayed there until about 3 o'clock this morning. And then the temperature dropped like a fucking rock.
Oh yeah, that major cold thing came through. I saw that.
Yeah. So like everything started freezing again. And then we got a little sleet. And then it just started snowing like fuck.
Snowing like fuck.
Yeah. Like, that's the best way I can describe it to you. Because like it was like 2 hours after it started snowing. I went out to start my car to leave work. And I'm walking through the snow and I'm like, I can't believe there's this much.
Oh yeah. Hence why I like living in Texas. That's a lot of fucking snow though.
Yeah, I mean, that's still one of my claims to fame though. I'm like, I didn't see a snowflake for like 6 fucking years.
That's right. But now the last 2 years, like last year's retarded winter storm that fucked everything up, and then, you know, this little one that happened while we were on vacation. Like, man, shit's getting weird.
Yeah, like old Mother Nature came down and said, "I'm gonna fuck with you guys now."
I think Mother Nature caught fucking COVID is what's going on there. She's got that shit. Uh,
Yeah, it wouldn't
well,
surprise me at this point.
yeah. Well, that's our frustrations with the car buying process. I'm sure many of you have felt the same and wondered what the hell.
I'm sure a lot of you have felt the same. At least I hope you have. But
That's just mean.
with the way this podcast went, like this isn't even like the what the hell podcast. This is the get off my lawn podcast.
Yeah, kind of. It kind of is.
Like I shook my fist when I said that too.
The visual. You're gonna have to. I actually bought a. I bought a GoPro, a real one, to take on vacation. Get some good underwater pictures and what have you. And I did. So I may. I don't know. I don't know if I'm comfortable putting myself on video yet. So I may toy with that in the future.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, if you ever want to do a video version, I have a webcam. It's a pretty decent one. It's not like super grainy, so I'd be open to that.
All right. Well, let's
it
put it
doesn't-
on.
It
let's
doesn't have
put
to
it
be
on
a
the
thing.
listeners. I'm not against it. Let's put it on the listeners. Let's put it on the What the Hellions. If you guys want to a video podcast, I mean, you guys know I've got the YouTube channel. It's out there. If you want to see that, hit us up. What the hell podcast at yahoo.com, WT hell podcast on Twitter. I'm gonna look because I always fuck that up. So let's see here. Who am I on Twitter? I am. It's WT Hell Podcast. I have 2 followers.
He's the CEO of his own company. He doesn't own his own fucking Twitter handle.
Well, so if you're interested in that and you want to see us, and we'll plan that out to be a much more ranty and funny episode, hit us up. What the hell podcast, yahoo.com, WT Hell Podcast on Twitter. TJ, you got a Twitter, right?
I do. I don't post anything, but if you want to follow me, it's TJ Sporer, SPORER.
There you go. Hit us up on that. If you want to see it, we'll make it happen. Well, we have the technology. No one will get that fucking reference if you're younger than me and you, because you get the reference because I made you. But
no,
it's the $6 million man, people. If you don't fucking know,
no, hold on. Side rant for just like a few seconds, right? So, no, because I mean, faithful What the Hellions know what I do for a living. So I have been at a point where I have pulled out so many implants from one person that I have gone, we can rebuild him. We have the technology.
I love it. That's great. That
like, literally, there are some motherfuckers that have been rebuilt from the fucking ground.
Oh yeah. Fucking hip replacement, knee replacement, shoulder replacement, elbow replacement.
Like fucking rod your back. Like it's insane.
Wow.
Like so much surgery.
If you don't get the reference, Google it. It'll come up pretty quick. It's the opening to the $6 million man. But
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn, you little shits. Whippersnappers. Motherfuckers.
No. You're down in Texas, so like if you step on your front porch, you got to go, I got a shotgun. Y'all got to the count of 3.
2.
Yep, exactly.
I do have a shotgun. Good times. But yeah, if you want to see some video, I'm open to doing it. We'll figure it out and work on some stuff. We're going to get more consistent at it. Promise. It's just vacations and life and all that. So we'll get another episode up here pretty soon. Jason sends his apologies for not being able to join. He's got a lot of shit going on right now. So hopefully he'll make the next one. And yeah, what do you got for the people, TJ?
You know what I got for the people, and shout out to Jason. Couldn't make this one, but he'll be on the next one.
Yo.
I have no idea what we're doing for the next one. That's the fun part about this is Sean just sends me an idea and it was like, we're gonna do this. And I'm like, okay. So
I got a few ideas. I'm gonna put a couple of them out there, and the three of us will figure out what we want to do, and then can get some material together for it. So
for sure. But
definitely got some stuff. I got some stuff.
I'm just gonna say this to everybody. It's my tagline. At least that's what I'm trying to do. Be good to each other, people.
You heard the man. Be good to each other, people. Thanks for tuning in. Fucking appreciate the hell out of you guys. And we'll catch you on the flip side.